New types, though, are coming and incredibly promising, and many of you are hearing about them. RTP, I think it maybe scares some people. We're starting to, hasn't been, it's just sort of scratching the surface in terms of adoption. Like when you look at, ACH volume, it's, $73 trillion processed. It's 30 billion transactions last year alone. So obviously that's taking the bulk of it. When you look at RTP, real-time payments, it's just so new. And I think it's 0.01%. I had to look it up. I know it's not much. And largely with some of these high volume consumer cases like Venmo or Robinhood that are starting to use them with their customers. But what's happening now is that what recently just happened is that the limit for the amount of a transaction that can be processed via RTP went up from 100,000 to 1 million effectively this week. It was announced by the clearinghouse, who essentially governs the RTP network, and that was announced on April 6th, a couple weeks ago, and now it's coming to effect this week. So now you can send up to 1 million per transaction. I think one of the drawbacks still, though, to adoption is the nature of, like an ACH or like a wire, you have the ability to pull it back. You may not have a long time to do that, but there is a little bit of that comfort knowing you can pull it back. RTP, you don't have that. So the pros and cons, it's like it's direct, it's instantaneous, it goes quickly. You can't pull it back once you send it. So I think that creates but I think it's just a matter of time before building in some things that kind of allow to mitigate, or some comfort levels around how to handle that. And so that's, again, part of the experience, part of things that we're working on to make that more mainstream and working with the banks to do that. And that's where I think part of that's going to be solved a little bit by, what is starting to take place in Europe with pay by bank. And that's also a way that's more on the consumer side. So consumers can pay direct. When you look at all the options on the checkout page of Target or whatever, there's lots of options, right? There's, buy now, pay later, or Affirm, or these different aspects. Pay by bank is starting to become, one of these aspects that you can at checkout select, pay directly with your bank. And even though it is also still really early, even in Europe, there's roughly a little less than 4 million transactions in the UK, which has the most volume throughout Europe for pay by bank. But that's still, again, really, really tiny and just scratching the surface. But I think when you look at that broader adoption that will start to take place in Europe, and because there's a greater comfort level with going direct, it's more direct. And unlike the US, where it's, our comfort food in terms of payment is the credit card, right? It's not so much in Europe, right? It's more directly with the bank. So as pay by bank starts to make waves and broader adoption there, looking at ways to settle or handle some of those scenarios, whether it's refunds or different things through that process and handling, some of those, I believe, will start to make their way in how we adopt RTP.